Welcome back. Suze Orman is here with us on the Invest Diva movement, where we are aiming to help at least 1 million moms and more, and dads and aunts and brothers and grandparents, all the people who can benefit from taking control of their financial future. There is nobody better to answer questions about debt, and that is Suze Orman. She is the legend in retirement planning and in debt management, actually financial advisor. Unlike me, she's an actual financial advisor. So Suze, thank you so much for being on our show and taking the time to actually educating our audience.
Let's do it, girlfriend. What do you want to know next?
So debt management in America and in any other country, I'm hearing, is a big deal. Now, not being from America, I was born and raised in Iran. I didn't grow up with much, but debt wasn't a thing. We wouldn't buy things that we didn't have money for. And then I went to Japan, and Japanese people also, like, they don't go into debt like buying as long as I know. So it was a very new thing to me coming to America, finding out that people go into debt to go to college, people go to debt to buy stuff on their credit card, and then people don't pay their credit card. I'm like, how does this even make sense? So I personally don't have experience with it. So my first question for you, Suze, is what is the biggest mistake people are making right now when it comes to debt?
First, before you understand what you don't have, which is debt, meaning the money you don't have that's created debt, you have to understand what money is. And you have to understand that the goal of money is to make you feel secure. Simple. That's it. Nothing more needs to be said. You also need to understand that money is the greatest teacher when it comes to teaching you about who you are. Because money cannot do anything without you. You're the one who has to go out and get a paycheck. You're the one who decides, do you invest that paycheck? Do you spend it? Do you waste it? What do you do with it? If you are walking down the street and you drop $20, it cannot call out to you and go, wait, you dropped me, come back and get me. So money cannot do anything without you. So if your money isn't doing what you want it to do, and you find that you are in a total financial chaotic mess, that is because you yourself are a chaotic mess. Your money is just a mirror and reflecting back to you who you are. So when you have debt because when you feel less than, you spend more than. When you yourself feel like, oh, I'm a nobody, I don't have anything, I'll never be anybody, I've struggled my whole life, I deserve this, and whatever you say to yourself, that all of a sudden translates into you buying something that you can't afford. When you feel less than, you spend more than. And so when you look at debt, the first thing you have to understand is this is a statement of how you feel about who you are. This is your mirror that you're looking at, that you hate to look at, that you don't want to pay attention to, that you don't know how to get out of it. So why did you create that debt to begin with? Because I can tell you easily how you get out of debt. But if you can't figure out why you got into debt to begin with, you'll get out of debt and get right back in it again. So you need to look at debt in a whole different way. Now, anybody can say, oh, pay the highest interest rate first. Who cares about any of that, truthfully? What I want you to care about is yourself. And what are you doing in your life to be an obstacle in your path to financial freedom or financial independence? And normally it comes down to the three internal obstacles to wealth: fear, shame, and anger. Those are the three emotions that cause you to spend more money than you know you should be spending, to do all kinds of things because you're angry. I'm going to get back at this person. I'm going to go buy a new car. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Oh, you're at a store and you see a sale and the sale's ending today and you are afraid that you're going to miss out on this sale. You buy something, you take it home and you never wear it again. Why is that? Because when you look at that item that you bought, it reminds you of the fear that you felt when you purchased it. And this is all going on subconsciously. And all of a sudden, your life stops working. If you have debt, you have to go within to see why you are doing without. That is why it is so important that you understand who you are, that you understand why you do what you do with money, not in terms of investments and things like that, but why do you buy something when you can't afford it? Why do you have 50,000 pairs of earrings? Suze Orman still only has one pair for the past 40 years. I don't need more than that. You can look at any book cover, go back to Oprah 20 or 30 years. Every show I was ever on, you'll never see another pair of earrings besides this. I don't have a purse. Because I don't carry a purse. And so, like, why do you need all that stuff? Really? So when it comes to debt, the most important thing for you to understand is when you have credit card debt, you are paying for your present day desires, but your cost will be your future day needs. There will be things when you get older that you need, but you can't pay for them or get them because you paid for your desires when you were younger. So just think about what I said to you. And it's not the typical answer a financial advisor would give you. The typical answer would be, oh, well, there's good debt, there's bad debt, pay the snowball method, pay the... No, I don't care how you get out of debt. I care about you understanding why you got into debt to begin with. What are you trying to fill up within yourself with the things that you are buying that are putting you in debt? That is the question at hand.
That is so powerful. And I'm surprised that people don't know that.
Oh, they don't know that. They don't know that.
People in America don't know that. And I'm so glad that you bring it up. And people don't know that even though you've been saying this clearly for years and years and years. But it's about who you are. It's about, so you can, this is a spiritual thing. Like money is spiritual and you have to become the kind of person who is not in debt. You have to become the kind of person who earns a lot of money. And that really is the gist of it. Is that, hey, don't be in debt. I'm not going to be in debt is not going to fix the problem. The problem is you, which is something that you were actually talking about in our first interview, like fixing yourself, understanding who you are, really can be powerful when it comes to fixing your money issues, right?
It's the only way to fix your money issues. You cannot, if you have money issues, it's because you have issues, because your money can't have issues without you. So stop blaming your money for things that you're doing. Think about it. Your money, I can rip up $20 bills. They can't scream. They can't go, stop, I hurt. You and your money are one.
I mean, this obviously makes sense, but I have a follow-up question. And that is college debt, because that is something that, again, the society kind of looks like it again in America. Like you just go into college debt. You have to go to college and you pay. Like, what do people do with this? Do they have to continue to do this? If they already have college debt, what to do? Because that's a question that I get asked a lot. and not having had college debt, my only solution is like, go make more money and like just learn how to make more money. But what would you say?
Well, right now, student loan debt. So you have all different kinds of debt. You have mortgage debt, you have credit card debt, you have 401k debt and loans sometimes, you have personal debt. Hopefully you don't have payday loans, but you have all different kinds of debt. And then you have student loan debt as well. Out of all of those debts that you can possibly have, student loan debt is the most dangerous debt you can have, bar none. Why? Because all those other debts, including IRS debt, can be discharged in bankruptcy. You could get rid of them if you needed to. Student loan debt is the only debt that you cannot take through bankruptcy in 99.5% of the cases. So it will follow you to your grave. So therefore, student loan debt is the one debt that you really, really, really need, excuse me, to pay attention to and to make sure that you are not in default, you are not in deferment, you are not in forbearance, that you are really dealing with it. Now, you haven't had to deal with your student loan debt, if they're federal student loan debt, over the past year or so, and that's going to come to an end in January because you have been really on a moratorium granted by the federal government where you aren't being charged interest right now and you haven't had to make any payments. Oh, shortly you will. So it is really important that you have a plan of how are you going to pay off your student loan debt. And that's a whole course into itself.
So I do want to have a question about debt versus getting funded for something that is going to generate you more money. Do you think there is a difference?
Yeah. So right now I've started up I co-founded a new company by the name of Secure Save, and you can all look at it. It's securesave.com. And it's the first employer-sponsored emergency savings plan for employees, first of its kind. Now, I could have funded it myself, but I didn't fund it myself. Instead, we went for seed funding and everything, and other investors invested in this idea in the hopes that they're going to make a lot of money off of it. Right now, that's debt, so to speak, but not debt that I'm personally responsible for. I'm responsible for doing the best I could possibly do to make this company a serious success so that they win big as well as I win big. But most of all, the employees of all the corporations in the world win bigger. And so that's somehow using other people's money who are intelligent enough or not to invest in you and your idea, and you haven't forced them to do it. That's their decision if they want to do it or not. Great. Debt, when you're starting your own company, you're taking out credit card debt, you're taking out equity lines of credit, you're using up all the money that you have. And if it doesn't work, then what? Then what? So if you have an idea that you want to start and go on your own, save the money, and you want to invest just your money, but save it that it was extra money. Don't go into debt to fund a business, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. You know, there was that Curves. I don't know if you remember this, but it was this big fad of a franchise of all these women opening up these companies where women would go from machine to machine to machine. They were called Curves. And it took off like wildfire. Everybody was making a fortune and all these women were doing it. And then the whole thing went belly up. And then all these women had absolutely no money. So just be smart with what you're doing when it comes to debt. Also, know how to run a business. If you're taking money from yourself or for somebody else. It's not just based because you have a good idea and you just want to try this. You have to do the research. You have to do a profit and loss statement. You have to know that you can carry that business for 1 or 2 years. Like I expect that we have to carry Secure Save, although maybe not all the way through 2023 to even start making a profit. But we have the money to do so. So just be intelligent with your ideas. And just because you can't find a way to make a living doesn't mean you start a business. You start a business because you have a passion and a desire and a great idea and a business plan, and you know what it's going to cost, and you know all of those things. Then start something. But I would really like to see you start it with other people's money or a small business loan or something, more than you yourself going into debt. And one last thing on this, and part of the reason of that is there's a law of money. Power attracts money, powerlessness repels it. Just like I said to you a few moments ago, that money can't do anything on its own. People are the ones who buy your products. People are the ones who hire you and give you a promotion or whatever it may be. So when you're powerful, you attract people to you. Since people control money, you attract money. When you're powerless, you repel people. Since people control money, you repel money. When you are in debt, debt is bondage. And it's the thing that all of you are most afraid of. So here you are, you're in debt, and it's now rendered you powerless, but yet you need to be powerful to attract customers and everything. So it's like this catch-22. That's my thoughts on it.
So good. I think the way I went about it, at least, was when I was broke and almost in a welfare house, was self-education. Educate yourself. It goes directly with what Suze Orman is saying. It gives you power. Knowledge gives you power. And you don't have to go, in my opinion, really, and get a fancy college degree to get that power, to get that knowledge. Like literally, knowledge is now a commodity, is readily available for everybody on YouTube. Self-educate and try to find your passion. In my opinion, everybody needs to have their own business at this day and age. I feel like just working at corporate America is not going to cut it. Learn how to create multiple revenue streams. And the more power, the more knowledge you gain, the more you have to give to people, and the more willing people are to give you money to serve them. And it goes round and then hand in hand. And then instead of like accumulating that debt, you're now accumulating that compounding effect for your money to grow and grow and grow and turn into $1 million family. I'm going to throw this out there. And Suze, you are like literally it. You talk about like how to become the person to earn money and be out of debt, and how to get out of debt. You are the whole package. We cannot thank you enough for your generosity to be on our show, this tiny little show, which we are hoping is going to grow. And you guys watching, you know what to do. Go ahead and smash that like button, share it with people who need to hear this. They need to change themselves in order to resolve their money issues. And remember to always make your money work for you. I'll see you next time.
Da, da, da.